We'll close today with our annual members meeting. I'll do the primary presentation, but we also have Neil and Rob as leaders of the board here and available for questions, as well as Stan on the staff team. So we'll hold this session in accordance with our antitrust guidelines. Please abide by the guidelines shown here during the course of our discussion today. We'll talk a bit in more detail about our work this year, announce the results of the 2025 board election, talk a little bit about our initial planning for 2026, and then have opportunity for questions. And we will insert the obligatory "I'm the person standing between you and the bar" joke, right? So I'll be aware of that as we proceed. Yeah. So as LISA is the oldest and largest trade organization serving the life settlement market, our efforts are designed to promote the development, integrity, and reputation of the industry by advocating for and working to advance the marketplace, substantially engaging members and industry stakeholders in our core strategic activities, and speaking as the voice of the industry. So as we talked about in Miami last year, through the course of 2024, LISA's board initiated and engaged in a facilitated strategic planning process that was informed by online member surveying, one-to-one interviews with a number of members, planning sessions with the board, and some in-person meetings also with the board to sort of solidify a working plan with the staff team in advance of last year's event. The results of that planning identified the 5 priority stakeholder groups that we are targeting and working to raise awareness across. And they include institutional investors, consumer advocate groups, legislators and regulators, financial advisors, and individual policyholders. So when we reported last year about pointing towards 2025, we announced that we intended to position LISA as a resource to be used to build awareness across these key channels and continue to deliver incremental value towards the membership. That became actionable in a couple of ways this year, as has been a theme of the day, substantially looking to raise awareness across the market and about the market, ongoing education of key stakeholder audiences, enhanced communication and collateral content across platforms, engaging industry participants at LISA and other industry events, sort of meeting folks where they are, and then continued policy advocacy on behalf of the organization. And specifically, and as we have addressed as part of the presentations today, that was made possible through our annual data collection, our support of the Cashing Out documentary, the partnership with Insurance Newsnet, enhanced media coverage, and an increased social media presence. So these are the high-level results of last year's market data information. So in 2024, our members paid consumers $601 million for the sale of their life insurance policies at a total face of about $3.4 billion, representing approximately 6 times higher than they would have received through cash surrender value. Since we began tracking this information, the total transactions in aggregate have conveyed more than $2.5 billion to policyholders. And as an organization, along with partners and members, we continue to explore ways to expand the impact and value of our market data collection. I think this is a key nexus based on everything that we talked about today. We joke about 8 data points in John Welcome's spreadsheet and the 5 that we track. Obviously, there's more that we can do. That is certainly not something that we're going to just go off and do. It'll be a result of ongoing discussions of members and their interests. We look forward to continue to have those conversations inside the organization. And if there's any questions along the way, don't hesitate to interrupt. As you have heard, our partnership with the makers of Cashing Out this year became aware of this opportunity early in the first quarter. And as you'll see shortly, the film predominantly features former LISA board member Scott Page, who is the chair of the Quilt Can Be a Comforter campaign managed by the National AIDS Memorial. Both the campaign and the memorial, along with the New Yorker, are affiliated with the development of the film, which launched softly in June in New York City and was officially released on September 10th. Cashing Out has qualified for consideration in the Best Short Documentary category at the upcoming 98th Academy Awards, and we're certainly have our fingers crossed in terms of how that will proceed between now and February. The film is currently available on the New Yorker website, and we're contemplating a series of screenings at college campuses and other locations through early 2026. Along the lines of our effort to enhance content development and communications collateral, our collaboration with IN was a multi-phase 6-month campaign to project Lisa's developed thought leadership through ad placement, the development of a false cover and featured article, in addition to print and online availability. It culminated with the publication of a 12-page mini magazine advisor's guide, which was published in September to approximately 50,000 subscribers. Toby, you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of these numbers. All in with ads and page visits and other analytics, the campaign resulted in over 1 million total impressions, and the information that we've gleaned from this will allow us to have a baseline to measure against as these efforts continue. And we're very excited to be in conversations with IN about how our collaboration continues into 2026. These are examples of some of the material. This features the members of the board who were interviewed and featured in an article. There's infographic information, and there are examples of this collateral around the venue for you guys to review and take back with you if you'd like. With the release of the film and the IN work, we had the opportunity to pitch and present Lisa's message to various media outlets in collaboration with the folks from Clyde to position our thought leadership across a variety of media channels. And perspectives on the industry have recently been featured in USA Today, Market Watch, and other publications. In addition to that, we've been working with a partner to expand our social media presence, targeting the constituent audiences referred to earlier. And as was mentioned during the legal session to start the afternoon, Lisa filed an amicus brief in the Emeritus case before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California. And as opportunities have arisen throughout the year, we continue to educate legislators, regulators, and their staff teams about life settlements and monitor current laws and regulations to avoid their negative impact on the industry. So, all that to say now, we're excited to announce the new composition of the Board of Directors for 2026. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Stephen Shapiro and Brian Casey, Inside Baseball. So when we first came to support Lisa as an organization in 2019, we contemplated the institution of board term limits, which hadn't been in place inside Lisa's board structure previous to that. And because of COVID and the way that we instituted formalized leadership succession in the bylaws, these are actually our first directors that are cycling off as a result of those limits. So it's actually a wonderful example of change in progress for the organization. Stephen, as a former chair, my wife would joke, that was during a period of time when there was a lot going on, right? And thank you for always being available and for your steadiness and leadership. You're not going anywhere, but you'll certainly be missed. Thank you, Stephen. And to Brian, along the same lines, an incredibly busy guy who always had time for me. to teach me and pass knowledge along and provide insight into the marketplace. We can't do our job well without you guys. It's a pleasure to work with you both, and thank you very much. So for this upcoming year, Rob Haynie will be the incoming chair of the organization. We will have an officer election likely in the mid-November timeframe to announce a next vice chair who will assume the chairmanship going into 2027, as well as determine who the secretary, treasurer of the organization will be. For the next cycle, Neil will serve as the immediate past chair of the organization. That means next year, as we have additional members of the board cycle off because of the same term limits I just mentioned, Neil will chair the nominating committee and vet candidates who are interested in serving the board during next year's cycle. But we're very excited to announce that Nate will be continuing or serving an additional 3-year term as a member of the board, and excited to welcome 3 new board members, Taylor Garvey, Clay Gibson, and James Westerlin to the board for the next calendar year. Guys, very much looking forward to supporting your leadership and working with you closely. Taylor, James, Clay. Thank you, guys. So, a little bit about what's next. We've been asked, and we've had or have been engaged in ongoing conversations about the potential reimagination and potential consolidation of some of the life settlement industry event offerings across the organizations. ELSA, Fasano, Lisa, ILMA, and those conversations are proceeding as we'd hoped. And we have some information we're going to take back to the board pretty soon after this meeting. And our goal is to have an announcement around sort of reconfiguration of events in 2025 at Mike's event coming up in a couple of weeks. That's our intention. So this is meant to be something to provide some efficiency for you guys as members of the marketplace. And I think that there'll be opportunity for us to collaborate very closely and continue to provide differentiated and valuable content across these events, and look forward to everyone's continued participation. We're contemplating a series of new standing member engagement opportunities. There's been a lot of discussion about data. For a variety of reasons, we sort of paused on some of our active committee work through this year, and are looking to reinstitute that coming up into 2026, along with a sort of coinciding engagement calendar, so folks have a very clear understanding of where we are and what we'll be doing. This is along the lines of the sort of coordinated communications and content development and deployment that has been discussed throughout today, as well as expansion of data. We've contemplated ways, and I think we're as close as we've been in a while, to sort of reimagining how we're updating you guys all on the ongoing legal matters, and look forward to working with our partner at ELSA to try and deploy an offering like that for everyone in the space that folks are finding valuable. Engagement at stakeholder-specific events, and then a sort of ongoing discussion that we've been having about due structure and differentiated types of investment for folks to make. I think the communications investment that we've made this year is a great example. Easier to make an argument about return on that kind of investment dollar when folks see tangible assets that you can use and deploy as part of your own out in the world. So we look forward to continuing that. That's quickly through. Rob, Neil, did I miss anything? I'll open it up for questions.
You did not miss anything.
Thank you.
We should say something about Brian. So we should appreciate Brian. Brian, you only represent us, or do you have other jobs as well inside the association management firm?
I have a couple of other
jobs.
jobs.
You should really, we were here, I don't know, Chris was in the room. Remember we went and met Brian in New York Stephen, I think you were there, and he was a deer caught in the headlights. And I said, the herding cats commercial has nothing on this organization. But now, look at him. Taking over, doing a great job, as well as his staff, Stan, and others that are out there. I think it's just a credit to them, because it is not easy to deal with us and our schedules, and you seem to be always to make time for us, for me certainly, and I hope we continue to have you at the helm. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Any questions?
What is the Lisa social media handle? I was trying to look at it on like Instagram.
I don't think we're on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob is.
But I'm not really on it now. My daughter's on.
Like Facebook, you said social media presence.
We've primarily been testing presence on LinkedIn. I think that the plan would be for us to convey some of those same assets across other platforms. Obviously the Facebook channel is a clearer channel, sort of direct to policyholder. We've sort of dabbled as part of the inexperience this year with inbound inquiries to learn more about the marketplace and sort of circulating them to folks. We're learning through it, right? I know that there's some institutional, contextual scar tissue related to that type of thing. We just want to make sure that everyone has a very clear understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it. That's been the reason why focus primarily on LinkedIn first. We aren't opposed to expanding if we can develop a solid value proposition for it, but that's generally the rationale.
We're on Signal for war plans, though. That's out there.
Any other questions? Well, I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for staying to the bitter end. I guess it's not quite the bitter end, but it gets easier now with cocktails. I hope for all of you who have not yet seen the film to take the opportunity to do that. It is quite powerful, and we are proud to be affiliated with it. But if through the course of the next little bit that we're together, anyone has any questions or comments, suggested areas where we might be engaged, that would be a great time to pass it along to us. We look forward to it. But thank you all.